working on a Courtney Upshaw story. The Courtney now isn't the Courtney that you saw when you arrived here. What has allowed him, or to separate him from other players? His development, I guess, over these last.
Well, Courtney was a good player when he came here. He just has gotten a lot bigger and a lot stronger. He probably weighed 240. Now he's 260. He's stronger. I think that he played mostly with his hand in the dirt in high school, so had never been a stand-up player before. I think that when players play a different position in high school, maybe their transition is a little more difficult when they go to college. I mean, you see it sometimes with some of these quarterbacks that you try to make receivers and things like that. But so he had never played standing up before, and as he developed confidence in those types of things, I think he played faster and with more confidence, and he's always been a good pass rusher. He's certainly improved in that regard, and I think his physical strength and additional power that he plays with, because he is a power player, helps him in pass rush. He has worked really hard since he's been here in every regard. But I'm not surprised that he has become the player that he's become based on the player that we brought here, relative to what we thought he could be and what he's sort of invested his time to become.
I'll ask a follow-up about the linebackers. Dante and Courtney seem to be kind of, to me, seem kind of prototypes for the things that you want guys in their position to be able to do in a game with their size, their speed and athleticism. True? Do they just kind of fit what you do?
There's no doubt. Both those guys are really good players, and we in our defense we because if you play a 3-4, you like guys that are a little bigger because they do have to take on blockers. When you play a 4-3, you can get away a little bit more with a smaller, faster guy. Still got to be a good football player. But maybe doesn't have to take on blocks quite as much. And these guys do a good job of that, as well as they're very instinctive and play fast. And, the play recognition, key, diagnose, whatever you want to call it for linebackers is always critical, how fast a guy recognizes and plays, and how the players play in front of them help them make plays as well. So, and those guys both do a really good job in that, and all of the above.
Nick, along the lines of the question before about the anticipation level, does having the week off then make it better, worse, or no difference?
Well, you never know until you go out there and play. You can do studies on bye weeks and how did we come off a bye week when we did it this way, and how did we come off a bye week when we did it some other way, and I think you just got to have some faith, trust, and confidence in the way that you manage the bye week. It's going to help your players come off and be able to play well and improve. I think when you're playing well, you really like the routine, of game week. Everybody does the same thing on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, go play the game. And I felt like we were in a good routine, but I also felt like in the last couple of weeks, we've gotten a little bit beat up physically to where we lost a couple players, but also had some guys playing that needed a little rest and time to recover. So hopefully this will help us from a physical standpoint. I'm hopeful that our guys can sort of take a business-like approach to this early on, so that the emotional and psychological sort of aspects of this game doesn't get to them too quickly and create an anxiety that might be able to affect them, not in a positive way. And just, be mature enough to understand the most important thing is, the effort that they play with, the toughness they play with, the discipline to execute and do their job, and know that they're going to play against, the best football players that they played against all year and the best football team. So that's a challenge that they should all sort of enjoy as competitors, and they all been in some games before that they should know what it takes to be successful in these kind of games.
Last one, John.
We know you prepare for opponents by looking at film, but also looking at statistics. As you crunch numbers, what jumps out at you about LSU's offense? What jumps out about their defense?
Well, you know what? I don't probably do as much number crunching as a lot of people. You know, we look at the technical aspects, and, you know, sometimes, you know, I for instance, you know, I might look at who gets the ball on third down. You know, who do they go to on third down, and what position is he in when they go to him on third down? But that may not make that guy the leading receiver, but it may mean he's a go-to guy in certain instances, in certain formations, in certain situations. So I'm not a big statistical guy. But I think that when a team is ranked highly in offense, defense, and special teams, as our next opponent is, that means that they have taken a pretty full body of work and done a really good job with it, and you're going to have to do a really good job to be able to match it. But when it comes to a lot of individual statistics and things like that, I'm more into the technical aspects of what they do and what we need to do to sort of counteract that, more so than any statistical information.
Thanks, Coach.
All right, thank you.